Yes, your presentations was visible for a while.
Yeah,
Nikhil, I think you should stop this. Yeah.
it's working. I have stopped this. Yeah.
Okay, fine, great. So do let me know when we are ready because most of our audience will be on Facebook Live of our entrepreneurship development cell, and when you give the green signal, we can start with. I'll just give you an introduction and then we can move ahead with the session, sir.
Yeah, we can start sharp at 9:30. Not an
Okay,
issue.
sir. Okay, sir. Isha, do let me know when we are live.
Yes, sir, for sure, sir.
Actually, Pandit sir, we were looking for you during Vadodara Startup Festival of the 2020 that we did in February. But somehow a busy schedule did not permit you being chief guest.
Oh,
Isha, can we start? Isha?
Yes, sir, we are live now, sir. We can start.
Okay. So, a very warm welcome to all of you. We have with us today Dr. Unnat Pandit. Pandit sir, I welcome you at Par University. Mainly, we are now looking to foster the innovation and entrepreneurship culture at university and rather more strengthening it at the university among the young minds of the students. So we are coming up with several sessions from several experts throughout the country. And we are really delighted to have you today with us. So let me briefly introduce you to all the audience about Dr. Unnat Pandit. So currently, Dr. Unnat Pandit is serving as Dean at Atal Bihari Vajpayee School of Management and Entrepreneurship at Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU. Dr. Pandit has completed MSc in Organic Chemistry and PhD in Medicinal Chemistry from Bhavnagar University under University and Industry Collaborative Research Project of Alembic Limited. Dr. Pandit has also filed 3 patent applications on his research work. He has completed an Executive General Management Program, EGPM, from IIM Lucknow. He has been awarded LLB in General Law from Gujarat University and a specialized PG Diploma in Patent Law from Nalsar University of Law. As a visionary professional, he served in academics, pharmaceutical business, linked with intellectual property management, and in bureaucratic role for over 18 years of professional experience, dealing with techno-commercial activities of different organizations like academic, corporate groups, and central government. He has been working very actively in the flagship initiatives of Government of India and has also served as officer on special duty to Commerce and Industry Department Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman at Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. He was also a member of IPR think tank constituted by Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DIPP, under Government of India to draft the national IPR policy for the country. He has been also actively serving as member of various academic council to various universities like GTU Ahmedabad, then NRC of UGC HRD, SGB Amravati University. He was also a member of Research Council at GTU Ahmedabad. He was trustee for Research Foundation and IP Care Foundation. And his active role in implementation and monitoring of various central government initiatives on innovation and intellectual property management and their program being carried out under Atal Innovation Mission has really immense. And he has been also engaged in formulation of policy for promotion of innovation and entrepreneurship under Atal Innovation Mission, a nodal agency of Niti Aayog to review and implement various initiatives of Government of India. Dr. Pandit has published 14 research papers, scientific review articles in journals of international and national repute, among which 8 are patent applications filed with Patent Office on different scientific inventions. He has also written 3 books on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam with focus of leadership among school and graduate level students. The book are dedicated to the students and youth of India in the memory of Dr. Kalam. Sir, we are really glad to have you today with us. And I'm sure that with all that intentions that you have in your mind to inspire the young minds of the country and draw them to a path of innovation and entrepreneurship, we really play a significant role in the overall upliftment of our country. So, sir, over to you. I think the session will be really beneficial for all our youngsters. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction. I will turn off the camera to ensure that the bandwidth is fully utilized for the conversation.
Sure, sir.
During the interaction, I will again turn on the camera.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the warm introduction, and it is indeed a pleasure to again come back with the same Parul University audience. I have already delivered my talk on intellectual property earlier when I was in Kedila Pharma. So long back in, I think 2012-13. I came there and then had a wonderful interaction with the various faculty, students in Parul University. Now, as part of a National Innovation and Startup Policy, NISP, taken up by the AICTE, this initiative is really important to boost the culture of startup and innovation in academic institution. And secondly, it is useful for the aspiring innovators as well. So student startup, how we can nurture. And with that views, I have thought that let me just share some of my thoughts on a design thinking for startups and innovators. We all know the various aspect of the startup domain, but how the design thinking is important and what role this design thinking plays into the startup journey. And while I have thought of delivering the talk on the subject, I have thought that let me just quote a Sanskrit slok. Ano Bhadra Kartavo Yantu Vishwam. Let noble thoughts come to me from all the directions. And this is the core essence of today's topic. Design thinking means you should nurture the various thoughts, various applications, how that those applications, those ideation can drive towards the direction of a success in the innovation and the startup ecosystem. And this is equally important when we are going to realize the vision as a part of a strategy for a new India at 75. And this is I can see in a common word that this is a double bonanza. If we are going to nurture this, country is also encouraging the student startup. And through national education policy, this has further been emphasized to all the academic institution to nurture the startup, innovation, IP creation activities in their academic institution. And if we want to have our Bharat as a Vishwa Guru in this knowledge century, then this is something which is important for all the academic institutions to nurture in their institution. And students should gear up for building the future as the aspiring innovator. And that is going to be the aspirational goal of 21st century. And we all might have witnessed that the technological development which is happening in this entire 1/5 or 20 years. In 2000, what was the technology accessibility? And by 2020, we all can really witness the advancement which is happening. And that's the level of transformation. Even in India, it is happening. How? India at one point in time was paying 16 rupees per call charges. And now, even almost less than 5 paise per call. See the scale of economy. how far we have adopted the technology. Earlier, there used to be a mobile connectivity in a metros only. Now, country is allowing the access at each mile of the country, and majority, more than 95% of the area is covered with the digital connectivity as well. And that's going to be the base. So we are going to, in the post-COVID era, we are going to set this as a baseline for 21st century. And from this time onwards, whatever the progress which we are going to foresee, it is going to be emphasized through the high quality research and publication. Once
Pandit
again,
sir, sorry to interrupt you. Have you shared your screen?
yeah, yeah.
It is not visible, sir. Could you please do it again?
Oh, oh, oh. I have thought that screen is already shared.
No, you stopped, I think, in between, maybe that time.
Uh-uh.
Just, yeah, do it
Okay,
again so that now it's
okay,
visible.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you can see it.
Yeah, you can do slideshow so that it
Okay,
is visible on full screen mode. Yes.
okay, okay. Uh, just give me a minute
Okay, no issues, sir.
and let me do it a full screen. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Now it's visible.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I was talking about how the this novel thoughts are going to use uh, or set our benchmark for the now onwards the growth which India is going to foresee, and that is really important in order to make sure that the way India is progressing, academic institutions add a high quality research and publication. And while doing it so, country is also going to form as a part of a national education policy, National Research Foundation, reliable base of metrics based on the peer reviewed research funding, helping to develop a culture of research in the country. And that is going to set a baseline for the country to ensure that we are going to offer a research paradigm shift for our country. And equally, this National Research Foundation is also going to offer a fund competitive peer reviewed grant proposals and various other uh, embodiment of nurturing the research in academic institution. And while we are planning to do it, how the IP regime is going to build and how the entire innovation ecosystem is going to be nurtured. On one hand, there is a industry interest wherein industry wants high profits, consistent return on investment, and a sustainable growth. And ultimate goal for industry is to contribute towards nation's economic goal. On another hand, policymakers have a priority to build the IPR regime, offer the affordable medicine, healthcare, or any similar kind of solutions which can really contribute towards nation's social goal. And like a manthan which was happening in between, this is again a in a 21st century, the manthan which is happening in between the industry's interest and policymakers priority. And as part of the manthan, like in a manthan Amrit came out, innovation and IPR regime is also going to be the resulting effect of manthan in 21st century. And while this is going to evolve constantly, knowledge applications and the knowledge production is going to be the key element for all the academic institutions. And universities are required to relate the institutional innovation in their higher education system. And that's how they will be required to nurture the academic firms, academic startups, which can contribute towards the commercial arm of academic institutions. And this is going to happen through cooperation among the various departments, creating a healthy competition among the higher education institution, and co-optation approach, wherein we are required to join the hands and need to make sure that whatever the problem which society is facing, we are offering a unique approach, a design thinking approach towards addressing those specific problems. And their journeys might be starting with the genetic problem categories and typical problem identification. And our principles of innovative problem solving might result into the typical solution design. But there is a add-on element which can be offered through specialization. And that specialization will be offered through a specific solution design. If we take an example of a pharmaceuticals, then earlier there used to be a modeling and simulation, and that has contributed so far. Now the advancement which is going to get happen is through the pharmacometrics, system pharmacology, model based drug development. And we have seen the results. Even during the pandemic outbreak, several pharma companies came out with the specific vaccine candidates. I'm not debating on their relevance, their efficacy, their safety, or their suitability. But one thing which we all have realized, that such a model and informed approach in a drug development is useful. And that's how the drug discoveries are happening. And there are mainly three elements in this drug discovery. What is a source of information? What is the structure through which we are going to realize the innovation? And what is going to be the resulting culture which institutions are going to build? And that's how the talent, energy, and method which is implied in identifying and utilizing the source suitable for any purposeful creative activity should amalgamate with the structure. Structure in the institution, when I say institution, it is equally important at an individual level, at a team level, and together both of them have to set a target, and certainly a system which works well when institutions, universities are building the entire platform for this kind of a discussion. And in a long run, such ideation, such freedom of inventing or active engagement of an individual as a team is going to build the system in institution which are going to enable the different viewpoints and action accepting and learning from the mistake will further add a value in building the ecosystem. And while our attempt is to design a solution from a research to the commercialization, all the activities we may not be having an expertise to work on this. However, in entire creative journey from research to the commercialization, the creation and invention, the most essential element, is required to be nurtured by the academic institution. And that's why I have marked through the dotted square box. New and potential use of idea is required to be nurtured among the academic institutions, and such creative idea need to take a shape in an applicable form. And that's what from research and development the expectation society is having from the academic institution. And there is one more essential element wherein invention is required to translate into the innovation. Invention turn into the successful commercial product, wherein the research commercialization is equally required to be nurtured by the academic institutions. And same, I will continue the pharma innovation as an example. And we need to complete the cycle of a T1 to T4, wherein T1 means proof of concept or phase 1 trial, which is the most important element wherein academic institutions can contribute. And basic research as well as applied research should come together in offering a new product and various novel approaches. And still there is a gap. And how academic researchers are going to fulfill their gap? That answer we need to give on our own. From various novel approaches in a product and a solution designing, how this is going to be implemented. This is again a second gap wherein academic institutions will be required to have systems inbuilt which can offer the plugins in translating this research into the practice. And overall, entire ecosystem should see the change. And in design thinking processes, what COVID-19 has taught us, I would like to mention here, in 20th century, entire research was happened through scale and scope. People used to offer a predictability, and organizational boundaries were rigid. Common and controlled was really a dominating phase. Reactive and risk averse, strategic intent, competitiveness, data and analytics were sidelined in 20th century. And now the research is mainly dominated through speed and fluidity. They would like to bring the agility, creative environment and empowerment. And certainly the organizational boundaries are open. If we see in corporates as well and in academic institutions, how many startups were coming out of academic institution in 20th century? It's not a new. If we see that one of the old age pharma college in Ahmedabad, major entrepreneurs came out of that pharma college. But now there are many such institutions who have strategically built the incubation centers to nurture the entrepreneurship among their faculties, students, and for aspiring youth. An entire development is happening through profit and purpose. And that's the benefit of a competitiveness, cooperativeness, and certainly all the decisions are synthesizing through big data analytics. But still, in academic institutions wherein knowledge has to contribute throughout this entire quadruplet helix innovative model, wherein they need to work hand on hand with industry, with ensuring that we are preserving the environment. Whatever is being done is published and we are reaching to the society, and it should be in sync with the government policy. No matter where do innovation happens, either in lab or in a research efforts during your master's thesis, postdoctoral thesis, doctoral thesis, wherever the innovation is happening, one should have a focus of utilizing the knowledge which is accessible to them towards creative thinking, have a inspiring dream and self confidence, and if not, how to get it? Let's get inspired through a design thinking process. Any such problem which is identified, and to make sure that I am not biased towards pharma, let me take some other example also. Say, as one group of students would like to design a fabric solutions which they want to offer to the targeted audience, and might be in an e-commerce mode. So this is something which is defining the brief where you want to serve. And while we are exploring this, our research background, what exactly the different kind of solutions which are available, how many e-commerce players are into the business, that kind of a basic research is required to be done, and need to ideate the solutions. And while ideating, one has to realize that the solutions which is being offered should be a novel, unique, and customer centric. And that's the core theme of a design thinking, that solution designing is important, and that kind of a various driver is going to drive the entire solution offering. And for doing this, we need to make sure that we are gathering the information adequately. We need to identify the target groups whom we would like to serve them through a innovative solution offering. And core team need to brainstorm. Everybody has to add a value to this. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So everybody need to involve them. That's the inclusion which is required to be nurtured. And practically we need to sketch entire business model. That paper planning is important. And once we are thorough with the paper planning, need to execute the planning by designing a prototype. Selective rationals, we need to identify our priority. And once the desired solution is available, we need to implement and learn from the feedback. Each particular stages may even require an in-depth brainstorming, discussions, deliberations, but this is the overall, a brief approach which is applied towards the design thinking. And if we think that the solutions which we are designing, that's a product, positioning and value, if they are not being taken care while designing the process, then the product or a process or a service which is aimed to offer to the end customer is bound to fail. And that's why these three things need to be in harmony like this, so that whatsoever may be the product which we are trying to offer, and certainly it should be the affordable enough to position, and its proposition is required to be in sync, in harmony with the other two. And I would like to use here various examples, because I know in Parul University you are nurturing the technical innovative solutions. Here I would like to use one of the example, which is a polycap. It consists simvastatin, ramipril, atenolol, hydrochlorothiazide, and aspirin. Imagine this 5 active ingredient in a small capsule. This innovative solution is bound to have a drug-drug interaction. And each active ingredient is having a unique property. So most important, wherein majority of the formulators failed, is to manage the drug-drug interaction. And secondly, the resulting metabolite and metabolite to other active API interaction. So ultimately, it's a 5 factorial combination which is going to happen. And out of that, only one such combination which was a useful one. And here in designing this entire solution, the classic design thinking approach in pharmaceuticals has played an important role. And that's what is required to learn by the students, researcher. Second such example is a naso B12. It is again a methylcobalamin nasal spray. Generally, the B12 applied applications and the solutions are oral, tablet or capsules. And the absorption is a big question. This particular formulation is designed in such a way wherein methylcobalamin can applied through a nasal route. And rapidly this particular formulation is increasing the B12 level in individual. So one of such unique solution, which is again a resulting effect of a design thinking. Diclofenac sodium injection, which is I would like to use here the brand name Dynapar AQ. Generally, diclofenac sodium injection is a very painful and oil-based formulation. So when it is applied, it is really a pain which is happening on the surface. So that pain even was happening in an Innovators product. And this corporate has taken up this challenge and has designed a surfactant-free transcutanol, specifically transcutanol-free finished formulation and injectable solution, which is a painless. And here also they have optimized the entire surfactant or a non-active ingredient, inactive ingredient, inactive ingredient concentrations. And one specific concentration is giving a painless injectable formulation. Here also, the design thinking approach has played an important role. Same thing wherein various vaccine formulations are being explored in COVID-19, wherein one of such unique formulation which is offered by Novavax Inc. It is a US-based company. They are offering the solution which involves the virus-like particles. So instead of a complete virus, they are creating the virus-like mimic. And this virus-like mimic is having so many spikes. Body doesn't know whether it's a real virus or a virus mimic. So body will generate the antibody against all this mimic, which is virus-like particle. And that's how the immunity will get boosted. What a unique approach in a design thinking. And let's understand how it works. It should start with the creative research first. Apply the vision and inspiration to ideate and think how the solution need to be designed. Nobody would have thought that virus-like mimic can also be created, or a 5 active ingredient in a one small capsule can also be offered, or a unique application of existing formulations. But that is the design thinking, wherein we need to brainstorm, design a solution, and apply the creative process to address this solution. And that's the genesis of scientific project, wherein each scientist need to work hard and make sure not just a scientific problem which is getting addressed. We should also think that our solution designing design thinking approach should also result into the systematic outcome. One of such wonderful innovation which really everyone has utilized, which is nurtured at IIT Guwahati, and principals investigated is Parmeshwaran Iyer. They have developed a viral RNA extraction kit, RT-PCR kit, and viral transformation medium kit. And they have developed to identify, diagnose whether the patient is having a COVID-19 or not. And their basic research was really inspired many researchers. And it was done long ago in the initial phase. And results were announced on 22nd August. So COVID, so they have applied their design thinking approach. They have positively addressed all such unique combinations. And through this, they have created an efficient model which can develop the COVID-19 kit. And that was appreciated even in Mann Ki Baat. Our Honorable Minister of Education and the Education Ministry has also recognized the effort by these two scientists. And that's what even the paper-based kit came out of this. So the business visibility was required to be nurtured. Technical feasibility was also explored by these researchers, and people's desirability. And intersection of this is going to be the experience in nurturing the innovation, and wherein design thinking is required to be applied. Now ask the question to yourself, what is your contribution so far in the National Building Initiative? And that's what is required to be nurtured. And I'm not asking you to answer. You might be having so many questions which requires to be addressed. But university has a typical structure, and if we want to nurture that academic entrepreneur, then academic activities has a focus of publication, research, learning, connecting with the like-minded people, and learning the technology. That's the core job of academic institutions or academic environment. Whereas entrepreneurs have a entire running the business using the scientific research, translate that research into the commercial end. And the intersection which is required to be nurtured is an academic entrepreneur. And this pastel approach is required to be ensured. And faculty-driven academic entrepreneur is the future. Academic institutions are no longer just going to offer the academic courses, but they are also going to nurture the entrepreneurial capabilities in the students and youth. And that is the main source behind nurturing the national startup and innovation policy through AICT. Local environment, international collaborations, and cross-culture fertilization strategy towards integrated innovation development or organizational decision making process, whether to go ahead or not, are going to be the key essential driver. And while these drivers are nurtured through various psychodynamic characteristic and traits, government policy and market accessibility, size and structure need to be ensured. And such efforts should result into the effective utilization of a public policy. Organizations need to develop their own economic model, which is supporting to the market and entrepreneurs resource potential, which is already there. And that's where earlier what we have seen into the quadruple helix innovation model, it is equally required to be nurtured through the academic entrepreneurship. And that's where the entire game of innovation and ecosystem building is going to drive the pathway towards building the new India. We need to increase the technology adoption in education. We need to utilize the various modern tools, balancing the traditional needs, explore the exposure to faculty students with the modern technologies, AI, machine learning, futuristic engineering, add a value into the education, and literally need to have a shake hand among the corporate, government, and a community players, which academic institution can catalyze and shake the hand to build the future, which is a game changer. And academia and professional competencies need to come together and build the unique startup ecosystem model to create an environment that fosters the R&D and innovation deployment through the design thinking approach. And with these words, I would like to pause myself, and if you have any questions, queries, you can ask the questions. You can also write me on this email. You can reach out to me through this social media handle. I would like to stop my screen sharing now. And if you have any questions, queries, feel free to connect. Thank you very much for the interactive discussion.
Thank you, Unnat sir. Thank you so much. Now I would like to I request to students to feel free to ask questions to sir. Any student, please.
Sorry, I am unable to hear.
Any students having any question, please ask. So there is one question from student: can design thinking work with any age?
Hello? Can you repeat the question?
Student is asking that design thinking work with any age. They can start with any age.
Yeah. Even there is no age bar. Even I know one retired faculty of IIT Kanpur who has worked on a research problem and offered a unique solution, who's a winner of a Atal New India Challenge. And she is nurturing her startup. She is belonging to Kanpur, settled with his son who is working in Pune, and now after retirement, he have thought that whatever the work she has done, she need to offer in the interest of the society, and she has strategically utilized the design thinking approach towards nurturing the outcome based solution, and now she is incubating her solution at NMIMS in Mumbai. So she has moved from Pune to Mumbai just to make sure that her startup at the age of 65 years is take can be taking a shape. So imagine post retirement at 62 years age, she has started compiling entire 30, 35, 40 years of her research, and then designed a solution which can benefit to the students and the society. And she has offered this unique solution. So there is no age bar. Only the thing we need to start working on the path of building the innovation.
Thank you, sir. There is one more question from the student. Is design thinking is applicable to non-technical startup?
Anywhere, in any mode. See, I have used the example for the textile fabric solution. So once a startup wanted to offer a solution to a particular client, maybe a working woman, so they need to utilize the corporate outfit. So for designing this entire business model, they have used the design thinking approach, and they are successful in offering their unique innovative products, which are either a single piece offering also, the kind of a fabric, kind of a stitching, kind of a measurement which they have to take up, and wherever it is essential, they have utilized the technology, and that's what is important. So it's no longer just a domain which is contributed by the engineers, pharmacists, equally in a non-technical matter also, or not technical business design also. This kind of a learning is effective and useful.
So there is one more question. How the design thinking is different from the project-based learning?
See, project-based learning has a goal to achieve something as a resulting effect, which is a macro thing. Here, in this macro vision, you are giving a tadka of a design thinking and trying to translate this project into the commercially applicable solution. And while translating this project outcome as a commercially deployable solution, the goal is to serve the society. Goal is to offer the unique incentivized solution, and which is technology advanced and cost effective. And that's the ultimate goal of a true knowledge which is applied in the project based learning, getting translated into the useful economic model which is going to be utilized by the society. So it's a close hand in hand work, but certainly the different pathway, different approach towards serving the society.
So there is one more question. What are the key aspects that investor look into a startup before investing? Means what your view on that?
It's again a very big question wherein one has to appropriately design a strategy. And the question in itself is a 1 hour long discussion and debate. I would certainly like to briefly answer. Through such design thinking, one has to create their own intellectual property, and such a IP is going to increase the value. So whatever the unique incentivized solution which you would like to offer, if you have a high value of your own creation and IP, then investors are going to offer you much appreciation. And investors look for the sustainability. If your IP is strong, then that is going to offer you a sustainability. Second aspect, how your solution design is having a relevance to the societal challenge. If your solution is 100% in sync with the societal need, then they will appreciate. An investor want to invest in a funds or put in their funds into the startup where they get the better appreciation in a shortest possible span. And that's how the various financial driver is getting evaluated while investing into any invention or a startup. And that is going to be a useful one if you apply your basics strongly. Then investors are going to help you in translating your creative work into the successful innovation. And they are also going to join your startup journey.
There is one more question. Aniket Verma is asking, what kind of quality one entrepreneur must be possess in order to sustain the startups for lifelong?
See, startups, while working in the startup path, one has to realize that it is no longer going to be an easy cakewalk. There might be a failure, there might be a success, there might be a challenges, but one has to address all those challenges and come out with the positive mindset. And first of all, entrepreneur or aspiring startup founder need to build the entrepreneurial mindset. That is going to help you. And secondly, you need to appreciate yourself when you are failing. Try to identify the root cause for your failure. And even if you are successful in any execution, what are the critical elements which has driven you towards the success? If you start analyzing your own strategy, start challenging your own strategy, then you can create a lifelong, a successful startup. Certain startup are really changing their business model at every frequent interval. They start something, they sell the entire enterprise, they gain the value from that enterprise, they invest into another startup, build the entire startup to a certain level, and then out license entire startup. So that's how they are keep on adding the value to their core business. That's also one of the strategy. You have to decide your pathway. You need to make sure your basics are strong enough so that you achieve the success in startup journey.
So there is one more question. How will technical design thinking will change in upcoming years?
This is just, I think everybody has started utilizing the basic trait into the design thinking. This is no longer just a model which is being taught into the design schools. This is now equally a part of a pharma, engineering, and the IP innovation institutions as well. So they are going to see the entire shift into the startup innovation domain, and people are have started using these tools effectively. So sooner is the better. Your solution should be in sync with the societal need, and if such design thinking approach is going to be applied, one will see how they can offer successful solutions as well. So much of opportunity for design thinking approach for designing a innovation which can address the sustainable development goals. This is one such area. On 17 such goals are already set by the United Nations. Ample opportunity is waiting for the startups to knock the door of IP innovation and entrepreneurial journey. It's important for all of you to set the goal, set your target, and achieve it. That's what would be the message from this platform I would like to convey to all the students. Faculties have an important role to play here. We need to nurture the students towards rightly approaching designing the useful solution which has a sync with the societal need. And that's what, if we nurture well, then faculty driven student startup will certainly dominate in future.
Unnat sir, one question I would like to ask you, because you have been actively involved in government policies and fostering innovations right at the school level. What do you think that if I talk about the entrepreneurial traits within the students' mindset? So, being an CEO at incubation cell of Palm University, I just would like to understand that are there any rubrics through which, or entrepreneurial traits through which we can identify the students that this is so and so student could be turn out into a successful entrepreneur, or are there such things where these traits could be developed with the students? So, what do you think on that? Sir, your mic is mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to mention here both the approach. First of all, every student have the potential. The level of their potential is going to be different. But from the incubation center side, we need to identify the students with a high potential and nurture them with the basics of a startup learning. Then allow them to translate their idea into the reality. And that's where the startup ecosystem can play an important role. And that's where the important role of an incubation center comes into the picture. Now, for identifying the right potential, the second arm of an incubation center is to nurture the students to ideate. And whatsoever may be their idea, teach them how to really identify the issues and root cause of the issues. 80% of the time, if students spend on identifying the issues and root cause of the issues, then 20% of their technological learning is going to build them as a true potential aspiring innovators. And that aspect also can be nurtured through a startup incubators. And that incubation is going to be a unique in building the ecosystem. And that these are the both the approaches which one incubation manager need to balance. If they balance well, that's going to be a useful for the startups, students, faculties of the academic institutions.
Thank you so much, Unnat sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts and knowledge with all of us. I think we at Palo University currently are a team of 11 people who are handling the incubation space at university. And more or less, we are very much now into strengthening our innovative, innovation cycle within the university as well. So we'll always be taking help from you, being an expert, being a mentor to us. And we are glad that you have spent 1 hour with us, our students, so that they also learn and mainly to understand the objective of nations, where they have a very prime important role to play as a citizen of the country. So thank you so much, Unnat sir, for being with us and delivering a session for that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Wish you a good luck for all the future aspiring innovators as well. There is always a right time to start the right thing. So I'm sure this interaction will help them in taking their decisions.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, all dear students, for attending the sessions. If you have any such innovative ideas, you can always be in touch with EDC team. That is Ishan Pathan is there, Nikhil Jumade is there, Riddhi madam is there. They are all available for you. And I think whenever you have any such innovative ideas, you can always join our idea launch session every Friday at 11:30. You can log into our website, edc.pablouniversity.ac.in, to get more details about that. Thank you so much. Nikhil, anything else is there to share? All right. I think that's it. Thank you, one and all, for being with us.